He's a legend, he's a meme. He has a body so surreal and a shiny head of steel. A man with a purpose, a man with a vision. He is Pepsiman is the cringiest. Pepsiman is one of the most memorable and popular characters to ever exist. I mean, people are still looking up Pepsiman to this day. I mean, look at this! In this video, we're gonna be talking about the life of Pepsiman, from his birth to his purpose, all the way to a potential comeback. So, buckle up and enjoy the cringe. In 1996, the world was blessed with the birth of Pepsiman. Not this one. That Pepsiman. He was first witnessed in a Japanese commercial where he senses the unbearable catastrophe of a thirsty child. He answers the call, runs at the speed of light, doesn't even knock the door, performs his ritual, and now everyone has Pepsi and the world gets to live another day. And after this explosion of cringe, and after this masterpiece of a commercial, they decide to do about 10 more. Exactly. They follow the same trend, they just took them to the extreme. Pepsiman senses a tragedy, could be in the snow, could be in the desert, could be in the ocean, could be in space, even at a haunted house. Selflessly and like a hero, Pepsiman jumps head first, performs his ritual, and saves the world from another life-ending disaster. Unfortunately though, it never ends up good for him. It actually never does. And when you thought that they couldn't outperform themselves, they release a 10 out of 10, billions of copies sold, game of the year, Pepsiman game. Was that good? Pepsiman was one of the first games that I've ever played, alongside with Crash and Spyro. Pepsiman was developed and published in 1999 by Kindle Imagine Develop. It's the same developer that made Low G-Man, Super Bowling, Sumo Fighter, and Kickmaster. Remember those games? Yeah, neither do I. They went bankrupt and closed in 2006. But let's talk about Pepsiman. Pepsiman is split into 4 different worlds: San Francisco, New York, Texas, and Pepsi City. And with the same message as in the commercials, Pepsiman senses a crisis. In San Francisco was the unbearable tragedy of a vending machine out of Pepsi. In New York, a building was on fire and people ran to the rooftop. What do they need? Firefighters? Nope. Rescue team? Nope.
They want Pepsi!
And in Texas, a whole airplane fell, which is a little bit not convincing. I mean, looking at it, the plane looks fine, everyone looks fine, but what do they need?
Pepsi!
Finally, in Pepsi City, the servers of Pepsi went down. People all around the world were actually dying, and Pepsiman was needed to save the world. So he goes to his target location and does his rituals. Now each of those worlds have 2 levels, where Pepsiman is running by himself, but you have to navigate and avoid the obstacles by jumping, sliding, running, or slowing down. There are also 100 Pepsis on the floor for each single level, which you don't have to collect, but you could. There are also the chasing levels for each world, or you can call them the boss fights. For example, we have the jumping Pepsi, the birthing Pepsi, logs, and a truck that looks a little bit familiar. A red truck with a blurred white logo on it. I wonder what could that be? Yeah, in case it's not super familiar, in the late 1990s, Pepsi was competing against Coca-Cola. And funny fact, in this commercial, the Coca-Cola employee himself asks Pepsiman for Pepsi. What a ballsy commercial! But going back to the gameplay and bringing the difficulty scale. The difficulty of Pepsiman depends on how you're playing it. If you just want to finish the game, I would give it a 1.5 Pepsis out of 5. It's not that difficult, the controls get a little bit weird sometimes, but it's not that bad. However, if you want to collect each single Pepsi in each single level, that's a big spike of difficulty. And I will put that at a 3 out of 5 Pepsis. That's the approach that I went for, and I got multiple game overs. However, there are some time challenges, just like the relics in Crash. So if you want to finish each level on time and collect all the Pepsis, yeah, I would put that at a 5 Pepsis out of 5. I tried it a little bit and it gets so tedious, it's so difficult, and with the slightest mistake. And oh god, let's not talk about the last level. That was just a disaster. Yes! One very important aspect that we didn't talk about is the soundtrack. Pepsiman's soundtrack is just so memorable. It's so good, it's so silly, it's amazing. So that's the soundtrack of the first world in San Francisco. And they use the same melodies for the other worlds with some variations. With all that being said, the game Pepsiman is an explosion of cringe. Wait, let me explain. Wait. Okay. It has its unique sense of humor. You could find it cringily silly and pathetic, or you could find it cringily the funniest thing ever. Just the way the game doesn't take itself seriously, the silly cutscenes by Mike Butters, by the way, the silly sound effects, and the amount of advertisement in the game. It's so unbelievable. Like, look at this! There's nowhere to look at that doesn't say Pepsi. Everything is Pepsi. Pepsiman holds a special place in my heart. It's one of the first video games that I've ever played 20 years ago. But now, will Pepsiman ever make a comeback? I actually did some research, and you won't believe the amount of people that are still looking up Pepsiman. I mean, look at this, look at this, look at that. Oh my god. There's also a community of speedrunning Pepsiman. Also a community of the lore of Pepsiman. Some people actually say that Pepsiman was a scientist that drank the holy Pepsi and became this iconic Pepsiman. In a world that lives on memes, I believe that Pepsiman will be a great business move. I mean, I don't like Pepsi, but if that ever happens, I'll start drinking Pepsi. However, Pepsi has never mentioned anything about it, and I'm pretty sure that the copyright, legal stuff, ownership stuff that they would have to go through might not be worth it for them, but you never know. You really never know. And that is it for the phenomenon, for the meme god. I hope you enjoyed the video. I made a gameplay video. I'll link it right here. It's so dumb, make sure to check it out. I also made a similar video about Crash Bash. I'll link it right here. I'll also be making more in the future, so let me know which games you'd like, and I'll see you there.